to the Roofing Machine Podcast. Very special guest here. We're privileged to be in Mississippi at River Oaks Roofing. Thanks so much for your hospitality the last 2 days. And, well, it seems like 3 days. It's been very incredible. A lot of stories, a lot of emotion, especially this morning. We'll talk about this a little bit. But Patrick, you're the founder of this company.
I am, yes. Me and my wife, April. Started River Oaks back in 2017. So.
Like everybody asks, we talk to, like we always feel like we fell into roofing. Like nobody's grown up. Like I want to be a roofer. So how did you come into the industry?
I'm same kind of way. I grew up in the restoration business, fire and water, family business, and so I was always around insurance work and storms and things like that. But we started doing remodels after water jobs, and that kind of grew and started the River Oaks construction at first, and to do additions and things like that, so remodels. But saw a real need in the roofing industry and had some insurance adjusters ask us if we'd do it, and so
a lot of problems came inside when you do flooring, and like, well, there's a problem with the roof.
It's storm work goes hand in hand.
Yeah, we would go dry a house and like, well, do you know a contractor, somebody who does flooring, somebody who does paint, somebody who does a roof, and we're like, well, why don't we just say we do all of it?
Yeah.
And then we did.
That's we got our contractor's license. And
I know you've done phenomenal. You became a Master Elite contractor, which is 2%, less than 2% all roofing contractor at that level. So you really care about what you do, and one reason we're here and giving back to your community. It's really admirable. Really impressed the last couple of days. In April, it's very interesting because we always talk about how we can make the industry more attractive, so we can grow our business and serve our community better. So one of the big market that we've been talking about is to get women involved in the industry. So I know you got married, and then you became a roofer, right?
Yes, I was.
It's a package deal.
I was not a roofer before. No,
What would you say to anybody, women especially, like what's roofing? Because a lot of people say like, wow, roofing. I'm not going to go nail shingles. I'm not going to go on a roof. Like, what kind of opportunity is there?
There's so much more to the roofing game than just being on top of a roof. Even though I have been on top of a roof, I haven't.
I have pictures. We saw pictures.
There's so much more that goes into it. It's not just being on top of the roof. We're actually doing the work. There's so much in the office. There's so much teamwork. There's so many ways that women can be involved in it. And actually, we have had women on the roof. There are a couple women in the crews, but I have really enjoyed it. It's something totally different than what I was used to doing. But it's been a wild ride, but a fun ride, and we're looking forward so much, especially after this wonderful 3 days of positivity and training. We're really looking forward to seeing where it can go. So.
That's incredible. And Mark, we can attest to this. One of our best sales people, they're women. They're crushing it. There's almost like, we said, like, as owner, you have an unfair advantage when we meet somebody. Like, you have the ownership of the title a little bit. So, but women, I think they have an unfair advantage as well. And going roof inspection, it's for anybody, really.
Well, I love going into homes. When we first started it, he would do the inspection, and I would go inside, and I would talk to the wife, or I would talk to the husband, and sit down at the kitchen table and have a cup of coffee, have a muffin, and talk about church or whatever it is that we talked about, and that was really helping build that rapport. And then when he came in, they were like, "You guys are just so cute. He's doing all this, and you're here."
And they said really about Patrick, said about you. So
it really helped, and I did enjoy that part a lot too. I enjoyed the salesmanship of it, and seeing him come alive and go from doing the mitigation and the construction to doing what I really truly think that this is he gets the most excitement out of the roofing portion of everything that we've done, and so that's why we've kind of zeroed in on it.
Helping people and helping the team. Like the team, we saw a big change just from being here, but the leadership, everybody looks up to you. So we know, even the crews, you talk about some stories, the leadership that you bring, the emotion, the energy, everybody brings, but it comes from somewhere. So I can tell you're excited. You're happy to be in roofing.
I love it. I love going out to the job still and talking to the crews every day.
We talk about this. Sergio, and then you start naming some of the crew members. You're really involved. And Ryan, you've been in the company, you've been together, and I can see why, knowing you now for a couple of days, extremely intelligent, very detail-oriented, and technology, man, you crush this. It's a good balance with Patrick, so how did you guys connect? How did you meet each other?
Yeah, so me and Patrick, we actually went to high school together for probably 5-6 years right there. And I would say there's probably about a 10-year hiatus to where we didn't really hang out, do anything. He went to college, I didn't. I went to marketing. And at this time, I knew he was doing River Oaks construction, but I thought he was just doing home builds and was doing some lead generation. I saw where he had made a post about, roofing, and I said, oh, got some leads for you. And so I called him, reached out to him. I'm still working at a different job, and that was the beginning of a long conversation and a future relationship like nothing other. But we've been doing this since 2019. I was 1099, and then in March of 2020, I came in, and he needed some help after a big storm, and we implemented a lot of different things to kind of take this thing to a kitchen table type business to where we're at today. And it happens so fast, hiring and needing people. But everything has been a blessing, and it's been fun, That's the main thing right here. It's all three of us are growth oriented, and that's the whole picture of it, So
no,
it kind of goes hand in
love
hand.
this, and we talk about this constantly. It's like, well, our business owners is like, well, I want to grow, but I think I'm satisfied at whatever amount of money. Money doesn't matter because you're all passionate about the best warranties, the best installation, best service for homeowner. But they get stuck there because you're gonna have some employees that are gonna want more growth. They're gonna say like, hey Ryan, can you get me a raise? I need more money. I got 2 kids now. I'll do more work, but I need more money. And you're kind of stuck there. Like, we're not gonna fabricate more money if we don't grow the company. There's not gonna be more opportunities for everybody. So we have the growth mindset. I love that.
I mean, you said it happened so fast, and that's one thing that I hear all the time, and we can attest to that, right? One day we were at whatever, 8-9 million when I first was with Monarch, and all of a sudden it snaps like this, and that's what I really try to get to when I go to companies. I'm like, this can happen like this. I think that was the first day I told you guys, like, we look at this big building, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's a pipe dream. I know, it just happens so quickly. First off, I had an unbelievable time with you for the 3 days, and I can understand why you've had so much success, and I want to talk to you about that. So, you guys had a lot of success already, and you still have no ego to reach out to Riva and say, hey, we want to grow a little bit more. We want to give our team a little bit more opportunity. So first and foremost, we talk about differentiators all the time. Okay, what differentiates you than any other company? And that's what I always try to help salespeople with. That's my forte, and he always tries to help companies with executive level, how they can set themselves apart. What would you say some of the differentiators that River Oaks has in this area, or maybe across the country? I can tell you a few. I know that Equip Dirt is pretty darn cool, and I think you see a lot more of them, but it's still a differentiator. And it doesn't have to be something monetary or what you have, but maybe an action. And it could be your employees. What differentiators do you have? And we can just kind of start with you, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that sticks out that a lot of contractors don't do, and that's having a job site supervisor on every project that we're doing. That right there, it really says a lot for the homeowner that somebody's there holding the crew that's actually doing the work accountable right there. Checklists, systems, procedures, right there.
And I think you guys have one of the best ones. I want to have him in our suitcase. He's been with you guys ever since the beginning, right? I'm sure you guys have some stories. That
he was with us since the fire and water mitigation days,
Employee.
before we were really
And moved to this location, right?
He
He
drives.
drives.
65 miles every day.
So independent supervisor on a job site, killer for a homeowner. We do the same. We feel like that's the really important April differentiator that you think River Oaks.
I think that we're different because the customer, our clients, get a different experience with us because we work as a team. You don't talk to one person the whole time. You've got different people that touch that client in different from the beginning to the end. You've got people that are helping you throughout the process to kind of hold clients' hands throughout the whole process. And so you're meeting different people, whether it be face to face or on the phone, of course. But I think that that's different than a lot of other roofing companies.
I think that's big in all industries, construction industries. This type is like you're always dealing with one owner or one salesperson. It's so hard to get in contact with that person, and I think you guys nail that. So I think that's a killer one. How about you, Patrick?
I would say our biggest one then is the warranties we're able to offer, right? So we're GAF Master Elite, which we're really proud of, like 2%, I think, something like that.
2% of the country, that's really big for us, and for us to. Especially when you can say that you give the homeowners the best, you actually can give the homeowners the best, right? I think talk is cheap, we talk about it all the time, but being able to back it up with the warranties is it's not easy to get this Master Elite status. So.
And I think Patrick is what he wants to Differentiators is boots.
And they're gear.
Yeah.
Incredible. No, in the way you look, and I love the logo, I love the colors, how you brought it in the story behind it.
He was so mad, guys. He was so mad that he couldn't rebrand you guys. That's his forte.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do, buddy?
Branding, I mean, with the wraps and everything.
They kept asking me in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do more. And it started from when I met with you in Nashville.
Right.
I took a picture of your truck. I'm like, what? Look at this branding. It's awesome. You know, and it's simplified. It's not flashy. It's just like powerful, and I trust the logo right away when I see it. And the story behind River Oaks is incredible. And thank you for sharing this with us last couple of days. So in partnership, and yeah, that's in tears this morning, so I gotta get that in my mind right now, because it took me a while to get my collection, my thoughts, but can you have any advice, because business is hard as it is, now you're married, and your business work together, any advice for anybody that's in business together in a relationship?
I think that as a couple you have to kind of compartmentalize your day, and you know, you have your work and you have your home life, and sometimes it crosses over. It's just going to. But you know, luckily for whatever reason, our personalities mesh, and you know, what he's lacking I have, what I'm lacking he has, and we don't step on each other's toes. And I think it's a really it's just a great partnership. You know, personally and professionally, and he's my favorite person to work with. And you know, I don't know that a lot of couples, you know, would even want to do that. But I think the best thing is to know when you go home at night, when to put work down, and spend time with our little girl Parker. And
so adorable.
She's a mess. And then, you know, if we have a conversation about it, or if we have a disagreement, table it until tomorrow. The office will be there tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll both be there tomorrow. Let's really try to have a compartment for work, and then when you get home, make it home life. Wouldn't you say?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult. I mean,
And you have like what I like is you have different roles in the company.
Yes.
You know, you don't oversee each other kind of. It's like office management, and then you're on the field. We want you on the field all the time, right? It's like I need to give you out of the office. We got to be so strong in the office so we can go out and be out there to help homeowners. So.
Exactly right. What he does, I don't want to do, or I couldn't do, and vice versa. We just each have different strengths and different weaknesses, and so they complement each other. So I think that's how it's worked.
And maybe a little bit more understanding, right? You know, the stresses that he has, right,
Yes.
in doing the field that he does. So
Yes.
maybe if you weren't part of this inside the office, you'd be like, why are you so stressed? Or what do you got
Exactly.
going on? So I think
Yes.
that may help a little bit.
Yeah, I get it at home. Like if something went wrong or he had a bad day, like I know what happened. I get it. I understand it, and can take that.
yes.
Yep. But that's no excuse, buddy. Okay.
Hey, we feel that family-oriented team. Like we feel that your daughter coming in next couple of days. You know, it was incredible. But we can feel it from everybody here. So the culture you're building, especially on your mission too, you're really driven. So I think that helps too. Like I would say, like couples, if they don't know, they lose track of the mission. So what are we here for? Okay, well if they lose track of this, it could become you know, the conversation a little bit harder. You can be egoistic, talk about yourself. So if it's really helping homeowners get what they deserve, the best warranty installation service, then okay, is this the best thing for the homeowner, or am I just being pity? It's just on me, right? So you're both there's no ego here.
Yeah.
There's no ego. I felt that at all in 2 days.
Yeah, we have to keep customers number one, and also our team and our employees number one. We have a responsibility to our employees, and you know, when you were asking what makes us happy, you went around and I was like, I want to raise my hand and tell them, but I won't, because this is their turn. What makes us happy is seeing our employees thrive. You know, is seeing them do well, and seeing us be able to bring more people on because the previous employees have done well. Like when, you know, Jacob started working for us, and then, you know, A couple months later, he got himself a new truck. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
That makes
absolutely.
me happy to
Right.
know that he's doing well.
That's a different type of personality, April, right? A boss is going to say, well, gee, what, man, is he making too much money in my company, right? It's the same thing with us. It's like one thing that we can sell a lot, but our goal is, man, we want to help other people. So I think it's a different personality, and I think that's the type of personality we needed more in this industry. I think we can all agree, because this industry, we travel around the country, and sometimes we take things for granted, and we want to make sure that you guys know that you guys are doing something right, okay? And this needs to be built on that, so for sure.
Thank you.
It definitely feels good knowing that our employees are buying houses and starting families.
Right?
It's just, it's humbling.
That's
Yeah,
what makes
yeah,
us
yeah.
happy.
It
That's
feels
what we
good.
like.
You congratulate them, right? I
Yes.
always remember it, but
Yes.
not
Proud of
everybody's like that. You know, not everybody's like that, so.
Even more fuel. Other than the last 2 days and then going forward right now, what is something that you're going to implement to better your business and better your service to the community? Anything in particular that pops into your mind?
From the training.
Yeah,
the
well, in
last
training,
2 days.
yes, or goals you have coming up?
I think the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway is, you know, with the first day when you all started, I was a little nervous for you to come in to, you know, and I've been through some trainings before, but nothing has ever been like this for me. And when you first started talking, everything was just so positive and on the up and up. And even if you're having a bad day, like if you think positive, you know, you're going to make it a good day. Like you're in charge of what your day is going to be like.
Yeah.
And you know, there's ebbs and flows in every business, and every day can be different. But for me, aside from all of the great procedures that you all have helped us, that we're going to be implementing and putting into place, it's just being positive every day. And the three of us, if we're positive, it's just going to bleed over into, it's going to be the best thing for our team to be positive, and for us to keep up, you know, the
It's easier said than
positivity.
done, right? It's easier said than done. It's like,
Yes.
you know, I think people look at us and they're like, man, they ever have a bad day, right? Or do they ever have the same issues in the roofing industry?
Uh-huh.
And I think when we come to the companies and we talk about some of the same problems that you guys are having, they're like, oh, they're human, or
Right.
oh wow, Monarch, this does blah 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 million. Has the same issues, like yes, we all have it.
We all
So
have
it's
it.
like, don't feel like you're secluded to yourself, but and the
Absolutely.
only way, and I learned it from him, right, is number one, I've never seen this guy have a bad day, never, ever. In 6 years, I've never seen him have a bad day, and that made me want to be that same way. And then when I became a sales manager, I wanted my employees to have that same way, right? And I don't see it with Reva, so it's awesome. And I just hope that's one of the biggest, your key takeaway. It's one of the things I hope you guys take away the whole. Whether you scrap everything that we went over, if you just keep that, I know you're going to be more successful than you have been. So.
Absolutely.
So, sure.
It's kind of like the whole industry, you know, you have to adapt and overcome, and it's the same way with your personal mindset and everything every single day.
So
I mean,
hard, man.
You're going to have adversities.
Yep.
It's just a matter of when. It's
Yep.
just how you deal with them, you
Yep.
know. And seeing you guys have the same problems and hearing about it, you know, it's like, oh, we're not special.
We're not
Oh, this is happening, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, it's awesome.
Very good.
I got my last question. I said, what would homeowners expect when they're working with River Oaks? What would they be able to get from River Oaks right from the start?
The best service.
The best service.
The best service
Best
all the way
warranties,
around.
best
Awesome.
products.
A fun experience.
Yes.
On the phone. We did some role play this morning. We're both picking up the phone. Oh my gosh. I expect
And
that.
that's what
Skills.
it takes. Like, culture. We talk about
Yeah.
culture all the
Yeah,
time.
it's
And
on
I think
now.
culture, like people try to put, like, right, ping pong tables or pool tables. Your culture is right there. And Bo, oh my gosh, you
Is
know,
it?
Anne Marie, you got all these different personalities that mesh, and
Yeah.
you guys had that from the start. So
You had to handpick your employees. We talk about this. You have very all-stars, really, all positions. There's nobody we talk about that we don't like or doesn't fit in or doesn't have the fire to really help others. So, servant mentality all the way through. So, very well done.
Thank you.
thank you guys so much.
So thank
Thank
you very
you.
much for
Thank
having
you.
us last couple of days.
Thank
This was
you.
the Roofing Machine Podcast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.